Despite the pre-election polls indicating a loss for the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the actual election results have thrown divided numbers without giving a simple majority to any of the candidates. Reccip Tayyip Erdogan, the People's Alliance candidate, secured 49.5% votes, while the National Alliance candidate Kemal Kilitchdarlou secured 44.89% votes, and Sinan Ogan, the far-right Nationalist Movement Party candidate, secured 5.17% vote. This means none of the candidates secured the minimum 50% votes required to be elected as the President of Turkey or Turkiye. Now, the elections and politics of Turkey is a little complicated to understand for us Indians who are used to a parliamentary form of democracy. In the video, along with reflecting on current political situation in Turkey, we shall also understand the process of how Turkey elects its president. My name is Zishan Kaskar and you are watching The Wire. So elections for Turkish president were held on 14th May. Despite securing the highest votes, Erdogan failed to secure more than 50% votes, sparking the need for having a runoff election. Now, this runoff election, which will be held on 28th May, will decide the next president of Turkey. What is a runoff election? A runoff election happens when no candidate wins a clear majority in the first round, which is usually determined by a country's constitution. With 99.86% of votes counted, Recep Tayyip Erdogan has 49.5% votes and Kemal Kilitchdarlou had 44.9% votes. In the runoff election, the people of Turkey will vote again, and this time, only the two candidates would be in fray. In the Turkish presidential race, Sinan Ogan, who secured 5.2% of the vote, holds the power to influence the outcome. As the candidate for ATA, an alliance of Turkish ultra-nationalist parties, he aims to remove two primarily Kurdish parties from the political equation. Both presidential candidates, Mr. Erdogan and Mr. Kilitchdarlou, have received endorsements from Kurdish parties. While Mr. Erdogan has not met either candidate, he is willing to negotiate based on their principles. By endorsing one of the candidates in the runoff, his 5.2% support could tip scales in favor of Mr. Kilitchdarlou or make Mr. Erdogan unbeatable. The two-round system is used by 84 countries to elect their heads of state. Examples of recent runoff elections include Jair Bolsonaro versus Lula da Silva in Brazil, where Lula emerged as the winner. In Chile, Gabriel Boric, a leftist, won runoff against a far-right and socialist democratic candidate. Ukrainian President Zelensky won the runoff with 73% of the vote. So, despite the initial optimism, Kemal Kilitchdarlou will have to wait to become the next Turkish president. Now that we have gone through understanding the process of election of Turkey's president, let us now take a look at the factors which have been affecting this election. Why is there such an international attention to this election? And why is the Turkish presidential election of 2023 so important? To understand the current context, let us delve into a short history of Turkey's politics. Turkey's governance is rooted in a paternalistic tradition, where the state acts as a stern yet guiding father to its citizens. Kemal Atatürk, the founder of modern Turkey, shaped this social contract after liberating the country. Erdogan, unlike his predecessors, combines dominance with conservative Islamic beliefs. After liberating Turkey from Allied occupation at the end of World War I, Atatürk propagated this paternalistic social contract. He went to great lengths to shape both state and society in his own secularist, nationalist image. Atatürk embodied the modern Turkish Republic. The Republic stayed more or less the same till 2002. The 1999 earthquake and the subsequent economic crisis ripped up the social contract between state and its citizens, prying loose the former's ideological grip on society. In 2001, aided by his popularity after a successful stint as a mayor of Istanbul in the mid-1990s, Erdogan set up his Justice and Development Party. In November 2002, his party won national elections and Erdogan became Turkey's Prime Minister in March 2003. Since then, Erdogan has been at the helm of Turkey's politics, being the Prime Minister till 2017, then the President after his government introduced constitutional reforms, abolishing the post of PM and transferring all government and executive powers to the President. The combined alliance of opposition parties, whom have Kemal Kilitchdarlou as their presidential nominee strive to bring back parliamentary style of democracy back to Turkey. This is one of the major reasons that the election is seen to be of international significance. If Erdogan loses the runoff election, Turkey will see a leadership change after 2003. While President Erdogan's aggressive foreign policy has raised Turkey's profile abroad, it has also led to sharp differences between NATO and Western allies in finding a resolution to international conflicts. Erdogan's desire to take over as leader of the Muslim world has also led to resentment in the region. His desire to be the leader of the Muslim world is like taking a leaf out of the Ottoman Caliphate. This is the very reason why Erdogan has been staunchly against India's decision to abolish Article 370 from Kashmir and taking away the state's special status. Many believe Erdogan has transformed the Turkish society to be more conservative. Not just that, Turkey has been facing growing pressure on media freedom, and a new draft bill is set to further clamp down on one of the few remaining venues of free speech in the country. President Erdogan's rule has already witnessed a significant decline in media freedoms, with over 90% of media outlets directly or indirectly controlled by the ruling party. Independent operators face funding limitations and frequent legal challenges. The government has employed anti-terror laws to imprison around 100 journalists, while journalists are often subjected to assault, verbal attacks, and threats from pro-government groups. In the digital realm, social media emerged as an alternative platform for information sharing. However, even there, the government has exerted control. The Information and Communication Technologies Authority has blocked access to hundreds of thousands of websites, banned Wikipedia temporarily, and made requests to remove content from platforms like Twitter and Facebook. The proposed disinformation bill aims to tighten the government's grip on the digital landscape, channeling resources to pro-government media and expanding censorship. The broad language of the bill grants prosecutors significant discretion to criminalize criticism of public authorities, narrowing public debate on sensitive topics. It also facilitates content removal from social media platforms and prosecution of individuals based on their views, fostering fear and self-censorship. Opposition parties, journalists, and civil society organizations have strongly opposed the bill, concerned about further repression of government critics. The erosion of media freedoms in Turkey, coupled with the proposed disinformation bill, raises serious concerns about the future of free speech and open discourse in the country. These concerns forced the progressive opposition parties to file a single candidate, promising an interesting election after a long time in Turkey. Kemal Kilitchdarlou, a 74-year-old former civil servant, is the candidate of the opposition parties forming a coalition against President Erdogan. He comes from a minority Alawi community. He hails from the rebellious eastern Tunceli province, known for its Kurdish and Alawi majority. However, Kilitchdarlou faces challenges in winning over the Sunni majority voters who form the core of Erdogan's support. If elected, he would be the first Alawi to lead Turkey. Kilitchdarlou is often referred to as Turkey's Gandhi due to his mild manners and physical resemblance to Mahatma Gandhi. Now it will be interesting to see if this Gandhi would be able to overthrow the power assumed by Erdogan. We shall get an answer soon on the 28th May. Till then, the parties in Turkey will be involved in rigorous campaigning to determine their next president. Just pointing it out again that how important the endorsement of the withdrawn candidate Sinan Ogan is going to be. His 5% votes will most likely determine Turkey's next president.